11:20 on my clock. This match should be over before 11:30. Yeah, you know what happens if you 02 or 03 your pre-release? You still played in a pre-release and hung out with all of your friends. Alright, off to the races here. Nick Reid on your left, Alec Myers on your right. Red-Green Monsters against Mono-Red Devotion with a little bit of green. Good start for both players. Mystic into Mystic. On the Monster side, basically a stone wall on the Devotion side, as those 1-1s won't be able to get past that 1-4. Attack you. Mortars 1. I can see the wanting to kill the Elvish Mystic there. But I do think that there are some better targets for that Mortars in Nick's deck. And he had his mana established. Pelucranos comes down for the Monsters. Burning Tree into Chandra for Devotion. Chandra comes down, kills a Mystic, pings Nick for 1. As I do now remember that George is on the other side of this bracket, so this round could be lightning quick. Life total 16 to 18. The one of Hammer in the main board comes down. Frostborn Weird comes across for 2. Then we Gork Lane Rampager last turn to kill the Chandra. Courser comes down, reveals a Sylvan Caryatid. These players playing at a speed that would break your neck. Quite contrary to last round. Just look at that hand flicking. Look at them go. If they flick their cards fast enough, you could almost pretend like they're thinking about something. So here comes a Border Reckoner. 3-ball coming at you. No blocks. Mortars on top of the library. Coming in for 7. Of course, we get to block 2, so we're taking 5. No fear of a Gork Lane Rampager there out of Alec. Life totals quickly shifting down 11 to 8. So Alec up against it here, facing down a Pelucranos and to a lesser extent that Courser. So we'll see what he can chain off this Burning Tree Emissary. Another Mizzy Mortar, so there's a lot of Mizzy Mortars drawn here. That Burning Tree can attack thanks to the Hammer of Perforos, giving it haste. So now we got the choice of preventing all the damage from the Reckoner, blocking the Frostborn Weird, forcing Alec to pump it, or just eating, or just stonewalling the Burning Tree. Looks like that's what we chose. Oh, it looks like we didn't block at all. Nope, no blocks were declared. So Nick drops down to 3. Has a blocker for the Reckoner next turn. Looks like he just drew his Xenagos. So Reckoner can come in next turn. Let's see. Still had all these Pelucranoses. J. Wood Jr. is, I'm going to assume that that's your name. Feel free to head over to facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. Send him a question on there, because currently Zach Sells Magic is not in the room. I am temporary replacement, filling in. Nick comes up with the plan of, I'll just kill myself there. So we're moving on to game 2. Back to Jay Wood in the chat, though. Go ahead and send him a message on Facebook at Zach Sells Magic. He will get back with you, tell you all the stuff you need to know, or all the stuff that he wants to let you know. He might not tell you everything. Who knows? To be fair, Quasi, there are no kids here. It's just all of the teenagers and adults. Your point is valid that somebody of lesser need could have used that card, but there's nobody here like that tonight. Back to the action. Game 2 underway. Double temple start for Nick. These guys playing at a breakneck speed. Mountain, Ash Zealot out of Alec. Here's a Naked Domri going to plus. Look at a Mizzy Mortars. Putting that back on top. Off the Domri. Double Zealot. Not as good as Double Rainbow, but we'll let this one slide. Ugly Forest coming in play for Nick. Gorklane Rampager. How's your Ash Zealots now? So we know that Alec has Searing Blood in his sideboard. Obviously didn't have it there, so he was able to attack with his Ash Zealots. And then, before normal combat damage, Searing Blood that Gorklane Rampager to get it out of the way. Nick not going to give a crap. Play his Elvish Mystic into Kalukranos. Very good draw for Alec there as he found a Nykthos and gets to add 8 mana to his mana pool. So he has 8 red floating right now. Alec lining up these blocks as he sees they're going to happen. Three floating. These Nykthos activations are always all kinds of exciting. Nick going ahead and being flashy and saying, if I draw a red source, you are in a lot of trouble. Alec doing a lot of math here. This is a creature-on-creature matchup, and if you're going to be racing, you better know which side you're on if you're going to be ahead or behind, but I can't see what all the fuss is about here. Looks like we get to make a Stormbreath Dragon, attack with it, and pass the turn. I mean, we can play around Mortars all we want, but I think we lose if we start doing that. Quasi, you are allowed to cast at the end of each combat damage step, or during each combat damage step. So if there's a first strike combat damage step, after first strike damage has happened, both players get priority, and then the normal combat damage, or the second combat damage step would happen after that. That's not happening right now, as we're in Alec Myers' first main phase. He has 8 mana, played a Boros Reckoner, still has 5 floating. He does have protection from the Mortars now, in a sense that his Boros Reckoner will get to kill that Gorklane Rampager. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Take 12. That's a pretty good turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? He was at 18, so he should be at 6, right? Yeah. Players got the life totals right. So we're jamming in here with everything. Going to squeeze in that 2 damage. We're not going to squeeze in that 1 damage, it looks like. Yep, so Alec has established a board state here where it's going to be very hard for him to lose, as he's now explaining to Nick that this Mizzy Mortars that he thinks is an out next turn is not really an out, as that Boros Reckoner will kill him with a trigger. Going to decide to save the Mystic, foregoing the 2 life in lieu of extra mana next turn. I don't know what out he saw that he could have. Probably has something to do with that Pelucranos. There's a Xena God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The Xena God is active. There's a Mortars on the Reckoner once again.
What's interesting is I was out there, and the reason Alec was taking so long is because he's trying to figure out
How to play around the Mortars, yeah.
Yes, and he determined that that line makes it so that if Nick doesn't block with his Elvish Mystic,
yeah, he's at 4 life, and
he dies to the
Mortars.
Yeah, to the Reckoner.
Yep, we covered that.
Well, but it seemed like out there, like to me, who just walked up, and it seemed like he was taking a long decision. It didn't really matter, but it did make a huge difference. And then he does have Mortars.
Well,
and then Brandon just won.
I didn't know that he had that Fanatic in his hand, because he just flashed the Stormwrath Dragon. So I'm sitting in here like, I just play the Stormwrath Dragon on attack. You can't play around the Mortars forever. But then, like, he played the Fanatic. I was like, okay, you can just win the game now.
Yeah. Oh, Fnatic changes that game so much.
Yes.
Especially against decks with some removal, because your devotion just gets out of control.
And its life gain is very small, very incremental.
George just got man screwed, and Brandon won the other one, so it's Brandon and Alec.